Right, gents, good morning. Thank you to the guys that submitted the work. So today we'll be looking over basically all the questions that you guys had to submit, starting off with the cost benefits analysis. Okay, so I'll start you off. We'll have a look-see at this video and then we'll take it from there.
And then write it down. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Now do me a favor, I want you to think of something that you don't like to eat. I'm gonna try to guess what it is. So right now, picture it in your mind, then take out a piece of paper, and then write it down. Seriously, I'm gonna give you some time. Go ahead and write it down. We're going to DEFCON 5. Oh, shoot. Now I could go with one of the classics, like mayonnaise or liver or oysters or mustard, but I'm gonna go with something else. I'm gonna guess something else. Did you say poison? Or how about lava? Or dog feces? Now, you probably didn't write those down, and you're saying to yourself, no, you asked me what kind of food I don't like to eat, but that's not what I asked. Take a look again. Do me a favor, I want you to think of something that you don't like to eat. So be honest here, which one do you prefer? Eating a spoonful of the thing that you said that you don't like to eat, or eating a spoonful of poison? Given this alternative, you might find the thing that you don't like is actually something that you prefer. So I guess it means that you do like it. And that's my point. Economics is the study of analyzing choices and making decisions. And most decisions are not set in stone. They significantly depend on the different alternatives. You probably never thought that you'd prefer a spoonful of mayonnaise, but under the right conditions, you would. Now, here's another one to think about. I'm sure many of you have a pet dog, so how much money would someone have to give you to give them your pet dog? Would you accept $100? How about $1,000? How about $100,000? That's a lot of money. And if you're still saying no to the money, then how about other things like your family? Would you prefer to keep your parents or your dog? Or how about your own life or your dog? Doing this thought experiment helps you figure out what you truly value. Some people say, oh, I love my house or my car, but under the right conditions and for the right price, they would sell them, so they don't really love them. In fact, the things that you truly love are the things that you would sacrifice your own life for. So your family, or your friends, or your faith, those are the things that are truly priceless.
There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Here's a mind-blowing fact. Every decision that you've ever made, you wanted to make. You preferred that option. Really? Yep. If you went to school today, you wanted to go to school. You weighed the benefits and the costs, and you looked at the different alternatives, and you chose school. The benefits of school are pretty obvious. On average, the higher your education, the less likely you are to be unemployed, and the more income you earn. Those monetary benefits that can easily be quantified are called the explicit benefits. But don't forget, you also go to school because you want to see your friends or feel productive or maybe sit next to your crush. Those implicit benefits are harder to quantify, but they're just as valuable. Now, economists call the total benefit that you receive when you do something total utility. And to measure that, they have this term called UTILs. Think of these as like happiness points that allow you to measure the enjoyment of everything that you do. What the least of UTILs. So if you went to school today, you must have assumed that the total utility you got from going to school would be greater than the total cost. Now, if you go to public school, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, there's no cost for going to school. It's free. Public education is available to everybody. But remember, one of the key concepts in economics is everything has a cost. Now, for example, let's say you paid $3 to take the bus to school, and don't forget there's the taxes that you have to pay for the school. Those out-of-pocket costs are the explicit costs of going to school. But don't forget, there's also implicit costs, your opportunity costs. When you're at school, you can't be at the beach or an amusement park or sleeping or at work. And if you have a job and you make $10 an hour, going to school for 6 hours means you gave up $60 of foregone income. That's your opportunity cost of going to school. So your opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative, the thing you gave up when you went to school. And remember, it's totally subjective and different for different individuals. But it's definitely a cost and something you should add in when you're making decisions. Anyways, my point here is public education is not free. Remember, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Actually, let's talk about your lunch. Hey, Internet, this is Jacob Clifford, and welcome to Econ Movie. Avengers
Probably stop staring before it gets creepy though. Too late. You guys are losers.
Question, is paying $5 for your school lunch a cost of going to school? Well, not necessarily. You need to eat anyways, and if you were going to spend $5 on lunch, even if you didn't go to school, then you can't factor in $5 spent on school lunch as part of the cost of going to school. The same idea.
All right, gents, let's leave it at that. Let's carry on with the questions. Okay, so the first one says, briefly discuss the reasons for using a cost-benefits analysis when deciding upon a project. So obviously I just showed you that video just to give you an idea of what costs could be or what costs could mean to you as a person or to somebody else. You know, so you might view something that's a cost to you, but to somebody else it's actually not a cost. And as we go along with these slides, you'll get exactly what I mean when we talk about something that is subjective and something that is objective. Okay, but the first one is, market signals such as price help to allocate resources through demand and supply. Okay, but if this doesn't happen, what then happens? Decision on a project may then be subjective if we then take the market signals out of it. So if price or demand and supply weren't determining if a project should be taken or not, and then the decision to actually take that project might be subjective. And as I said, we'll have a look at what subjective means. Objective is a criteria required to ensure economic efficiency in resource allocation. When you look at things in an objective way, and then you look at facts, basically. Okay? So the last point is that a cost-benefits analysis allows us to identify all the relevant benefits and costs of a project when an informed decision can then be made. And it's very important there, that last part, informed decision. Not a decision based on what you feel or what you like, but an informed decision. Okay, so that's basically, if you had any two of these, well, any four for 2 marks each, you would have got the 8 marks. Okay, so if we carry on, let's have a look now at what is the difference between subjective and objective. So if anything, objective sticks to the facts, but anything subjective has a feeling. So if you just go back and look at what I was talking about here, anything objective, okay, is required because it sticks to the facts, and if you stick to the facts, you can therefore achieve economic efficiency. Whereas anything, subjective is obviously has feelings. Okay, so be objective when writing things like summaries or news articles, but feel free to be subjective for arguments and opinions. So when you're giving what you think and what you feel, you can be subjective. So for a cost-benefits analysis to actually work, we have no time to be subjective. Everything needs to be objective, okay?